Dear my beloved audiences, today I want to tell you a story which is called A Dog Named Shadow. When Max moved into the small countryside town of Willow Creek, he wasn't looking for companionship. He was a war veteran, recently discharged, and carrying more emotional scars than physical ones. The house he inherited from his grandfather was quiet, nestled between tall pine trees, and far from the noise of the city. That was exactly what he needed. On his second morning there, while sipping black coffee on the porch, Max noticed a scruffy black dog sitting at the edge of his property. The dog didn't bark or beg. It simply watched. Day after day, it returned, sitting quietly, almost respectfully, at a distance. Max began to call him Shadow, partly because of his dark coat, but mostly because of the way he silently lingered like a shadow at sunset. One morning, Max left out a bowl of water and a small piece of bacon on the porch steps. By the time he returned with his coffee, Shadow was gone, but the food was not. This became their silent ritual. A few days later, Shadow finally approached while Max was reading on the porch. Without a word, the dog lay down near his feet and fell asleep. That was the beginning. As weeks turned into months, Max and Shadow became inseparable. Shadow would accompany Max on long hikes through the forest, wait patiently while Max worked in the garden, and sleep curled up on an old rug by the fireplace at night. He never barked much, never caused trouble. He just was. A quiet presence. A reminder that even in silence, there could be comfort. Max found himself healing in ways he didn't think possible. The nightmares that had haunted him for years became less frequent. He started fixing up the old house, painting the walls, tending to the overgrown backyard, even building a small shed. He laughed again. He wrote letters to old friends. One evening, after a long hike, Max sat on a rock overlooking the valley with Shadow by his side. The sun dipped low, painting the sky in gold and amber. Max turned to the dog and whispered, "You saved me, you know?" Shadow just wagged his tail and rested his head on Max's knee. It was a moment Max would never forget. Time, however, has its own rhythm, steady, silent, and irreversible. Shadow began to slow down. His muzzle turned gray, and he struggled on the hikes he once led with ease. Max built a small ramp so Shadow could still climb the porch. He carried him when needed and stayed up at night to comfort him through restless sleep. One morning, Max found Shadow lying under the old oak tree in the backyard, where they used to play fetch. The dog looked up at him, eyes tired but peaceful. Max sat beside him, gently stroked his fur, and stayed there for hours, holding his friend through his final breath. Shadow passed away that evening, as the sun set behind the hills. Max buried him under the oak tree, placing a carved wooden sign above the grave that read, "My Shadow, always with me." The house felt empty after that. The silence, once comforting, was now heavy. But Shadow had given Max something no medicine or therapy ever had, a reason to live again. A few weeks later, while walking near the edge of the forest, Max heard a faint whimper. He found a small, trembling puppy tangled in a bush, clearly abandoned. Max hesitated, then gently picked it up. The puppy looked at him with big, frightened eyes, and for a moment, Max thought he saw a familiar spark. He smiled softly. "You're not him," he said, "but maybe you're meant to be here." He named the puppy Hope. If you like this video, please leave a like and a subscribe. It will really help our channel grow. But if you don't like it, then just skip it, and don't forget to check out our other videos. Thank you very much and goodbye.